I don't think anybody could figure this one out as to the ending. It is a real bombshell when it drops.
It really was.
And it was one of those situations that when I did find out what I was like, what?
And I had to go back to the beginning to read that beginning and see, now wait a minute, but it still didn't give me any answers.
No.
It just opened more questions that I had to go back to the end to find.
It's not that the book's confusing at all.
Oh, no.
It's just, it's so well done. Just that whole setup.
The build-up is really brilliant. It really, truly is.
I enjoyed Mason.
Oh, yeah.
Mason was a delight.
Because children like that, they're so focused on what they do. And I'm always enthralled by the fact that, wow, if they're into Legos, they know everything about Legos.
Thomas the Tank, we know that from our family.
Boy, I wish I could be that focused on things that I do.
It's amazing the way she portrayed that, and you could picture the child doing that.
Well, that's why I asked, do you have somebody in your life? Because I think she did such a good job of not simplifying it or not over-explaining it. Mason was a good character.
They were all good characters, really, as evil as they got.
Mm-hmm. And there were some pretty bad characters in here, but it's like one of those things, the characters you love to hate.
Exactly.
And we all know people like this. Nobody was so over the top that you were like, oh.
And that's why I think it's a really relatable book, especially to women, because you've got a clique of women that went on the girls' weekend.
Yeah, if anybody calls and says, come for a weekend, I'm not going.
Oh, I am.
I will.
Let's go.
Well, I won't go for a hike.
I will.
That way.
I will too.
Maybe not after drinking a couple bottles of wine.
Yeah, that probably wasn't.
Stay away from the drunken hikes at midnight.
But we very much look forward to Rhea's next book. If it's anything like this, we will devour it.
Yes, and we wish her all the best with her writing and everything else. We went to Halloween. In the next week or two, we'll be giving a more depth report, but we really enjoyed it.
We're still wrapping our head around everything that we saw and did. And we thank them very much for inviting us, and we would love to come back next year.
Definitely. It was an event to look forward to. So.
Now, Anne is going to entertain us with a book report.
The book we're going to discuss today is the third book in the Art Deco Mystery Series by L.A. Chandler. The book is called The Pearl Dagger. Lane Sanders and her fiery boss, Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, have managed to contain the explosive underworld conspiracies of New York's most sinister schemers. But after a seemingly harmless pinball racket claims the life of a trusted ally, a new ringleader signals the rebirth of an all-too-familiar crime network at home and across the pond. Spurred by the possibility of a violent syndicate spreading like wildfire through Europe, Lane sets sail for London, the city where her parents began the undercover work that led to their tragic undoing. And this time, she won't chase down those childhood nightmares without Finn Brody, who vows to dispel his own difficult secrets abroad. While Finn confronts a devious siblings plot that echoes Orson Welles' voodoo Macbeth, Lane discovers that a dazzling pearl dagger may wield the ultimate clue to guide their hunt for justice on two sides of the ocean. With terrors from the past and present converging, Lane can't save herself unless she begins believing that, like her weapon of choice, she also has the power to be both beautiful and dangerous. It is advised to go back and read the first two books in the series before you read this one, because there's so many characters that go into each book and you really are a little confused as to who's who and why they're there until until you catch up. It would be a great standalone, but it's more fun to pick up where Book 2 left off. I recommend this book. It is a lot of fun. The 1930s, jazz was beginning. New York City must have been a real hotbed of talent and a fun place to be, as well as dangerous. There was a lot of crime. It was filled with twists and turns that you just had to keep track of what was going on. The characters are complex and endearing, and New York is definitely a central character in this book, as well as the play Voodoo Macbeth by Orson Welles. This is an actual play that went on in New York back in the 30s. It was a huge success, along with a satisfying mystery. There are lots of history bits thrown in, from Orson Welles with his Voodoo Macbeth to Dancing at the El Morocco and the Savoy Hotel, all the different jazzy things that were going on. But there were also some great historical figures in this book, and they appear not as your average just, here's Joe sitting at the bar. You have a plethora of historical characters that are used in different ways than your average author might put them in, and it's fun. You have Orson Welles, of course. You have Winston Churchill. You have J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and the others in the Inkling group. Plus, you have all kinds of cops and robbers and gangsters. It's just a fun book. It's not going to take you long to read it because you can't really put it down. I really recommend this book. That's it.
Well, thank you, Anne. That was very informative, and we just love Lori's
Art Deco series is excellent. She has the most interesting characters in there in weird little roles in this book. The book has a little bit of everything in it. It's a very busy book. I had to go back and read the earlier books to make sure I knew who was who in this book.
About a month ago, we told you that we would start a giveaway to some of our patrons of some assorted mystery books. And we just sent out some wonderful books to a few of our patrons. So if you would like to get in on that action,
and it can be for as little as $1 a month.
Any amount is appreciated. You can go to patreon.com/darkandstormybc to become a patron.
And of course, all of this information is on our website at itwasadarkandstormybookclub.com.
And you can sign up for our newsletter at the same time.
And hurry on getting your name in on the newsletter because there's a new one coming out momentarily.
November 1st.
It's got a lot of good stuff in there. The list of people who are going to be on next month.
Don't forget to send in your short story submissions for our January newsletter.
By December 1st. 1 month to get that story done.
For January's newsletter.
Details are on our website.
That brings us to the end of another episode. And remember,
life would be boring without a little mystery. Bye.